Welcome to season 4 of Caroline Rena and the Ride of My Life podcast and blog. And this season is going to include my story and how I ended up taking this journey and different suggestions by way of my continuing my healing journey, mind, body, and soul, and being able to find peace and self-love and to expand my life more and express myself more, and then share that with you so you have some choices and ways to see what resonates with you. So welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Hey everyone, I'm Caroline Rena, and this is the Ride of My Life podcast, and it's a brand new season and a brand new experience for me. And I'm calling this the revolution of self-love, which for me includes mind, body, spirit, learning about all kinds of new things. And also I'll be sharing my story in this season and just kind of things that have helped me along the way. And today is one of those days where I am starting again, although I've been doing it for about, I don't know, 20 something years. I'm going to be starting again really on my physical healing journey. I'm going to add that into the mix. And that's what today's all about. And so what I wanted to explain really quick here is like, so the body plays a role in emotional health, because when we're sick, we tend to, our emotions go wonky and our mental state goes wonky, and we have a hard time with dealing with sickness, especially me, because I don't normally have any major issues, just little tweaky things. So, but I notice when my emotional and mental state kind of, go off the rails when I feel sick or anything, or even if I think something's happening. And then the mind itself plays a role in physical health, which is interesting because I remember back in the day when I was working for companies, I used to, on days that I would call in sick, just because I wanted a mental health day, and they didn't do that back then. I would tell them that I had a cold or something. And every single time when I got off the phone with them, I would start to feel sick. So the crazy, it's just like your mind affects the way your body responds. And I've learned a lot more about that over the years. And it's just very interesting how this sort of thing works. So the mind body has a connection. And we haven't fully learned that. It's something that we learn along the way. And that's something that I've been doing for a while now. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the health aspect of redox. What do you call it, Maya? Redox biology? Molecules. Okay. And in my case, I'm not an athlete. However, I have decent health, although there are aging processes happening with me, and I can tell. But it's something I still want to look into, especially after having met Diane, which I'm going to really quick tell that story. So I was on my podcast journey across the country, and I was sharing with everybody. And at one point I was trying to find a place to stay on my way back down to Florida from Oklahoma. And my friend that I was staying with in Oklahoma reached out to a friend of hers from a Facebook group, Shelly, who happens to know Diane and Maya very well. And Shelly suggested that I reach out to Diane, and I did, and ended up meeting an incredible person. I've been with this since I've met you, Diane. I mean, it just blows my mind, the things that you've been through, and how you've evolved and healed from all of that. And that's why when I saw you and talked to you, even though we spent one night, it was this incredible thing. And you did have, we're not going to talk about the product itself today because we want to stick with the redox. However, right, she did give me a sample of the product that she's using. And just that night, it was 4 ounces, I believe. And just okay, even better. Just that night, I slept so soundly, and I'm driving. I just got there from Arkansas to her place in Georgia, and I was getting ready to drive the next morning back to Florida, and I was wide awake the whole time. I slept all night, and my biggest thing is getting up in the middle of the night and peeing a few times, and I didn't do that either. And I was thrilled, and then I was like, okay, little baby steps here. Let's see what this is all about. So that's why we're here today, because this whole thing was like I'll call it a God thing. I think that we met intentionally for something, don't know what it is, and that piece doesn't matter, but here we are, and I'm so grateful to have both of you here. What I want to do is kind of go over a little bit of what Diane, well, you know what, I'll just leave that. Diane, I'll leave that for you to talk about in your story, because we don't need to repeat all of it, because you'll probably say the same thing, but it was the stuff that you sent me. There was a lot of stuff she's gone through. What I do know, correct me if I'm wrong, is she was in this really unhealthy situation from April, tell me if I'm right, April of 2021 until May 1st of 2022, when she started taking this same product that she gave me. And you'll see, you've already seen some of the benefits of it, but we'll let her talk a little bit more about what, some of the stuff that she went through. So give me 1 second. I am going to look for their bios real quick here and introduce these amazing women. And let us start with, make sure I'm on the right track here. Let us start with Diane. And Diane, is it Ochoa?
You got it, girl.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Yay. Okay. All right. So Diane Ochoa is employed in the travel industry, and she's serving the traveling public's needs for 40 years. And she loved her job. And when you love your job, it's really not a job. And she said that, but that's just, it's a given when you love doing something like that. And she said, I just went to work and loved people up. She's the mama of 1 son and 1 daughter. She says it better because she's got that Georgia accent. Mama, yeah. And 1 daughter, and also a Grammy to 1 grandson and 1 granddaughter. and all are grown up and with the most amazing, loving hearts for every living being. They're all pretty special humans. Before she became ill, she traveled a lot. She volunteered to work in, wow, she volunteered to work in orphanages in third world countries. And for fun, her goal was to visit 3 to 4 countries a year. And it was going great until the virus shut everything down. And then she had these health issues come up, and she can explain, I'll let her explain that. And she got really sick very quickly and she felt like she didn't have a purpose to live after a while. So she says at her worst physical point, she started rescuing abandoned tiny kittens back in April 22, I guess, just to keep her going. And she said these babies got her out of bed and made her move. And she said it was torturous until she began with the stuff I was telling you about on May 1st, 2022. And over just a few weeks, everything changed for her. And here we are today. So welcome, welcome, Diane. I'm so grateful that you're here and so honored. Oh my gosh, you can't, yeah.
Just listening to you puts a frog in my throat because it's been a very emotional journey.
Yeah.
Quite emotional.
Yeah.
I'm just so honored that you even asked, because after what I've been through, it gives me no greater feeling than just to be able to share.
Mm-hmm.
Have to suffer.
Yeah.
I suffered in inhumane, torturous ways for 13 months, from partaking of there was just too many toxins in my body. I had too many toxins put into my body, and my body immediately reacted and immediately attacked my central nervous system, immediately caused inflammation throughout the inside of my body, to include my blood vessels. So like just taking a blood pressure felt like you were cutting my arm off. So the screams would scare everybody. The IVs, any of that was torturous because my blood vessels were so swollen and inflamed. Everything. And it was a 24/7. It was a 24/7 nonstop kind of inhumane pain. The central nervous system felt like it was just, up and down my spine. It would rotate spine, hips, pelvic area, like I was giving birth to a 12-pound baby naturally, if you can imagine, nonstop for months on end. I went from what you described, the person I was before, to a very, very fast declining shell of a person. I mean, I had night burns at night. My vision was going. Neuropathy became such a huge deal that I ultimately ended up not being able to walk anymore. It affected my brain, my cognitive abilities, so that my speech was likened to that of a recovering stroke victim. The words were up here, but having them to actually come out of my mouth was impossible. Following a television show or movie, impossible. Reading and comprehending anything, impossible. I was calling my daughter to ask her, how do I make a sandwich? And I'm a single woman. I'm a very strong, adventurous, active, single woman. And I was reduced to decay. I mean, I was living in a decaying body. In fact, my skin pallor had become gray. I don't know if anyone has ever taken care of a dying senior family member, but the smell of death is real. And it was around me and throughout my house. And it was a friend that introduced me to Maya. It was Shelly. And Maya, without hesitation, said she could help. And at that time, I had zero cognitive abilities, could hardly speak, but managed to get out to her, send me what I need, and gave her my information. And she held my hand through that process.
Wow.
Yes. And I mean, I didn't expect anything. Honestly, Caroline, I prayed. I prayed for relief from the pain. But it's interesting what you said earlier. I resonated so much so because our physical well-being does play a huge part in our mind, our mental state, because it became so hard on at least on 3 occasions to where I contemplated suicide. I was serious about it. It's not that I didn't want to live. It's that it was just so brutal and the pain was so harsh. And if this was my life forever, what's the point?
Right. You just wanted to escape the pain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just wanted it to end. So that illness, all of the stuff going on in your body, it puts you in some really dark places.
I can't even imagine. Wow.
That brings us to May 1, when I actually started drinking Redox at a large levels, of course. Crazy thing is, I was so out of it the first few weeks, I wasn't really aware of my redox journey, and recently spoke with my daughter for the very first time about it. I was thinking recovery wasn't for 3 to 4 months. She says, no, Mama, it was within 6 to 8 weeks. Within 6 to 8 weeks of day 1, drinking the redox signaling molecules, it was like a cascading effect.
Wow.
It would hit one cell, rejuvenate, repopulate, purge dead cells, make everything else work so well in my body. And it cascaded to all of my other cells to where my speech came back, my cognitive abilities came back, my neuropathy went away. I was walking again. I had energy. I could actually get out of my bed and go visit friends. And I could spend time with my family, my grandchildren, and do things that I had not been able to do for over a year.
Wow. Wow. And I'd like to add something here, because I just got done doing, well, I shared it a couple of days ago, but I did a discourse for a spiritual center down here in Florida. And one of the things I shared with them is something from a meditation that I had heard. And it's like, for me, connecting what you are talking about and what Maya will be talking about on how that works, our cells are like little pockets of consciousness. That's what I heard on that video. And I was like blown away by that. And the fact that you know, what you've been working with here is in effect, like holding a space of love for consciousness. You know, I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with this. It like blows my mind. I don't know what this means. I'm just like, holy cow, this is incredible, you know. And why not have people be healthy? Why not be able to help people and get them healthy through the cells? Because that's our basis. Our cells are just a smaller version of the universe, you know. So and we're connected. We're all connected, even though we don't feel like it. Sometimes we are. But yeah. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you want to share before I introduce Maya? Because I'd like for her to really kind of explain what all this redox, what did you call it? Redox?
Redox signaling
molecules. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share?
One thing.
Okay.
Prior to trying the redox, you have to know I tried everything for Western medicine, as well as alternative methods. You know, every kind of supplement listed that would help with these symptoms. I tried for literally 13 months. And the neurologist, the rheumatologist, the specialist, nobody could do anything for me. Nothing. So when we reached out to Maya, it was truly a last-ditch effort to keep me alive.
Wow.
My visit, go out in their car when they left, cry, because they believed with their whole heart that was going to be the last time they saw me alive. So it was just for me a last ditch effort. However, after it's an experience, this is of such a great magnitude that you can't describe it. It's like you have to experience it.
Well,
And
I want to describe it because I've been watching you online and I saw you climbing a mountain, girlfriend. So if that's something to describe it, that's all you need.
yeah,
That's the best explanation you can offer here, because you go from laying in bed. I remember you said you were basically in a fetal position because you were in so much pain. From
and
going from that point to climbing a mountain, yeah, you needed a little bit of help, but you're still healing. You know, I mean, you gotta give yourself a lot of credit and for all that, but you did it, you know, and it was like, wow, that's what I'm watching you. Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. And what you saw, the pictures that you saw prior to this talk right now are little, you know, bits of what happened with her. And Diane did tell me that for a while there, she wasn't even taking any pictures. So these are very limited. And
Yeah.
Diane, if you want to explain, like the first pictures was with you sweating. And then there was you finally got, I guess, to go out on a ride with your kids just to get out of the house. I don't know if that was before or after you started taking the redox. And then the other pieces of it are well, first of all, and that box that you see are all the things that she tried to take, and then some, because she also had other things that she did that helped her, which you know, if you want to explain that real quick too. And then the last 2 or 3 shots are her plants. She's giving her plants this stuff, and they are like thriving. And then my favorite, and I got to meet them, the kittens and the puppy. They are drinking this and they love it. They clamor to get this, to get their drink. They're not drinking water at all. I guess they're just drinking this redox, right?
They drink water, but every morning I put their molecule bowl down. And, you know, after a little while, I put their little water bowls back down.
Okay. But you have to get that out of the way first, so then they'll have to drink their water later.
That's what animals are so intuitive.
I know.
So it's all about the molecules for them.
That's so amazing. But anyway, do you want to explain real quick the first couple of pictures, like the sweating and those other processes that you did to heal that did not help, that were so expensive and still didn't help? And then we'll Maya, I can't leave you hanging here. You've got good info. Go ahead, Diane.
So prior to all of in the midst of the Western medicine, we gathered money, funds, friends, family, everybody. There was this treatment, it was the EBO2 and the NAD drip, where they pull your blood out of your body. And they have this really cool patented mechanism that filters all of the toxins from your blood, that oxidizes it, oxygenates it, runs it through a UV red light, then pumps it back into your body. And it was during that time, the first one that I had, it truly prevented a suicide, because the pain was that great. And it did relieve me from pain. It was a $3,400 procedure, and it gave me relief from 4 to 6 weeks. So that required yet another treatment, $3,400 more for just that relief, because I'm telling you that the kind of pain I was experiencing would have broken a strong man. And I mean, I'm a strong woman, but not that strong. And anyway, so it was nice relief, but who can afford $3,400 a month not to heal, but just to gift you with relief from pain?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
wow.
So.
Wow. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that story. I think it's very important that, you know, this extreme, I mean, you know, I'm starting in a totally different place from you. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with mine, but the extreme with yours, totally at the opposite end of the spectrum, you know, and look where you are in count 5 months. Is it 5 months?
Yes.
July, August, September.
Yes.
6 months. It's almost 6 months.
November 1 will be 6 months.
Right.
Compared to 13 months of
Wow.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just so happy to have you here. And
Me
now, yeah. So let's take a listen to Maya, but let me read real quick here what her background is. So this is Maya Goreshnik, and she is, I got that right, didn't I? Yay. She's a 56-year-old teacher and educator, having worked with special ed kids and language for 32 years until she pivoted into teaching adults. She's a mom, a grandma, and for her entire life, Maya has believed in the holistic approach to health, raising children, and general lifestyle. Her ability to educate and guide people through their learning and personal development has been a very big part of her life. She educates people on choices and alternatives and inspires them to live a more organic, complete life, which of course includes mind, body, and spirit in totality. Her background is Russian and Israeli, and she's been living in Canada since 1982, has 2 children, her parents, and a sister who all live on the same page as she does with the holistic lifestyle, and and she feels lucky that they are all in the same tribe. Hi, Maya.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. So you know Diane's story, and you've worked with a whole bunch of different people from my understanding, and we haven't really had an opportunity because you're constantly doing this, working with people, trying to educate them on what redox is. And I just want to, I'd love for you to share what this is all about, because it's from my understanding. Now, I've been reading this book that Diane gave me called Redox Matters. And I hope, oh, here we go. Dr. Lee Osler. Yeah. It's kind of somewhere in between like general person language. And for me, I went through nursing school, so a long time ago. So I kind of get an understanding of that, but they try to talk down to a level where people can understand it, but it's still a lot of big words that that people don't get down here. So it would be great if you could just share what redox is, why it matters, and why it helps people like Diane. I mean, holy cow, this is just incredible. So welcome and go for it.
So redox is not going to help just people like Diane. Redox is going to help everyone. Doesn't matter where you are on your healing journey, on your health spectrum. If you're old, if you're young, if you're in great health, if you're an athlete, or if you are struggling to get off the couch. Whoever you are and wherever you are, redox is your solution. And why is that? Because it works on cellular health. So the integrity of your cellular function depends on the redox potential of your cells. That's it. This is the optimum wellness. And we have to pivot from symptom management, from disease management, from figuring out which organ we have to take care of. We have to pivot into whole body, holistic wellness. And you start at the core. And what is the core? The core is cellular health and function. Those cells of ours work the same way, whether they're on our skin, whether they're in our gut, whether they are in our brain. They work absolutely the same way. And what do we need to do? We need to increase the redox potential of every cellular function. So once those cells are detoxing as they should, absorbing as they should, dying as fast as they need to die, reproducing as fast as they need to reproduce, and communicate with each other to create a cascading effect where one cell regenerates the other, we achieve total wellness.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
Can you explain to everyone what you mean by cascading? Because I don't know if everyone would understand.
Cascading effect is basically once one cell starts working properly, that is almost like a car battery that regenerates another cell into action. and then another cell into action, and then another cell into action until you achieve the full capacity of what healing is.
Okay.
And that is promoted by cellular communication. Those are the redox signaling molecules that must be present in every cell and in every body to actually promote wellness and create that cellular communication that will carry over the messaging from one cell to the next, one to the next, until a whole picture is a picture of wellness. Now, why do we lose those signals? Because we're born with them. We have them. We just don't have enough. So every decade, you lose about 10%. So think about it. So if you're somebody who's 50 years old, you've got 50% left of those signaling molecules. Think about the young children that have plenty of them. They recover faster. The skin looks better. Anything that happens to them goes through them much faster, the recovery piece.
And that's their energy.
And that's the energy. As we get older, things start to going downhill, whether it's our skin, whether it's our immune system, our hormonal health, our energy, our sleep, everything starts to be affected. And why? Because we lose 10% of those signaling molecules every single decade. So as I say, until 50, you have a warranty from above. After 50, you have to start doing some maintenance because you're halfway there. That's why when people pivot into cellular health, things like toxicity, things like things you've done to your body or things that your body went through, like injuries, surgeries, issues with autoimmune, everything gets a reset because the function of the cell gets a reset using the redox signaling molecules. Now, the beauty of this product is that it's 100% safe. Not only is it safe, it's native to your body. You have it in every single cell. You just don't have enough. Now, bringing it in, there's no digestion. It's straight absorption. You swish it in your mouth for 10 seconds. It hits your saliva and it enters the bloodstream. Within 20 minutes, there are changes in your blood markers just by ingesting that product. Now, it's a category maker, so there's nothing else on the market that does it. There's plenty of antioxidants, but this regenerates your body to produce its own. So everybody's on the glutathione and antioxidant craze. Well, guess what? Taking the synthetic stuff, if you're not absorbing it, it's useless. It actually can cause you harm.
And they actually
harm your pocketbook.
That, and also too, excuse me, they have also shown what is the name of the place where the toilet flush, they're finding like supplements upon supplements because we don't synthesize.
Sewage. You mean we don't absorb. So a lot of the huge piece is about absorption. So people say, I take. And I always say, it's not about what you take, it's what you absorb.
Yes. Yep. So
redox cellular molecule, the minute our cells are working as they should, the absorption is happening as it should. So people need less, of whatever it is that you're taking, even if it's pharmaceutical. And I'm not here to take anybody off their prescribed meds, but eventually with proper redox function in the body, the need for the pharmaceutical will decrease. The dosages of the pharmaceutical will decrease. And in my opinion, that's victory on its own. You will need less supplements. So I'm going to go back to the antioxidants and the glutathione piece that everybody's raving about. Well, if it's not absorbed and it's synthetic and your body doesn't know what to do with it, it's pretty much useless. However, redox, by activating the redox potential of your cells, your body makes on its own between 500 to 800% more glutathione on its own naturally, just by the activation of the cellular function. Hence your antioxidants, hence the immune system support that we're so lacking at the moment. Now, going back to the immune system, what is an immune system if not a messaging system? What is your nervous system? It's a messaging system. Your hormones is a messaging system. So our entire body is a hologram of messaging systems. But due to inflammation, due to lifestyle, due to toxicity from above that we bring from environmental toxicity or stuff that we have done or taken to our body. Due to that, those signaling systems are not working optimally. Bring them the redox and watch how things will start unfolding, unraveling, detoxing, and resetting.
Thank you. Was that
Sure.
it? You have,
Yeah.
I'm like ready for more. That's why I'm like, wait, what?
There is
stop.
more. I mean, you can do it topically. There is a topical
hours.
version. There is a topical version that you can do it from your body, bring the redox potential from the skin in.
Mhm.
And there is a liquid version where you start healing from inside with anything. So I am not going to say you can heal gut issues and nervous issues and brain issues. I'm just going to say you can heal the body.
Well,
Okay.
and that's important. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Let me,
The last thing that I'm going to
okay.
say, and I think that is an impactful statement that
yes,
I've heard from actually from a naturopath who really recommends this product, who happens to be my mother. She says like that, the only difference, it's a very powerful statement, but if you really, unpack it, you understand that this statement makes complete sense.
Mhm.
So what is the difference between a live person and a corpse and a dead person? The organs are there. The body is there.
Mhm.
What is missing is the actual redox function between the cells.
Mhm.
That is the chi, that is the energy
Mhm.
that guides the whole cellular function of every single cell everywhere. That is the only difference.
Right.
That is that energy piece.
Well,
and as we know, everything is vibrational.
I was just going to say, everything is energy, everything. And I'm an energy practitioner, so I understand that piece of it. Like I can feel when I drank the
Molecules.
redox, the molecules, my entire body was just going, because I'm very sensitive to certain things. And that was huge for me. But what I wanted to do, like what you were talking about, I was going to, thank you for re-interrupting me because I wanted you to finish what you were saying. But that one piece at the very end is one of the things that I've been reading about in the book is how like supplements and medication, all different kinds of things, they're basically targeting one issue or symptom or whatever. And it can cascade, I got the word, it can cascade into other things sometimes, but not, it's not like a consistent thing. And so what I understand about this is that because the cell is it's what we're made of, and when we heal that and they work the way they're meant to work, then it affects the entire body. It's not just focusing on one certain area and healing the one, because you have to have everything working together. It doesn't work separately. You can go in and have, the doctor check your heart and work on your heart and do all this stuff with your heart. But the heart and the electrical impulses from the heart affect the rest of the body. It affects the emotions, right? It affects all kinds of different things. So it affects your mind. It affects, so we have three brains, right? Is it three brains? We've got this brain, we've got the heart brain, and we've got the gut brain. So everything is talking together, just like Maya was saying. And the one other thing I wanted to share, and this is something I learned, and I don't know if you guys talk about this because I haven't heard it said yet, but I learned that every 3 months our cells rejuvenate.
So different organs have different cellular times. So for example, the gel is called Renew 28 because skin cells take 28 days. Some organs take 3 months, 90 days. Some organ takes a little bit longer.
Right.
Some are quicker. So there is actually a graph of that. And I'm happy to share if you want. I don't have it offhand, but I'm going to just describe the redox as a delivery mechanism.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a delivery mechanism that the body knows. The body, you just needs a little bit of help.
Yes.
The highway needs to be made. It's a conductor of electricity. We are all conductors of electricity. And if there's a shortage, there is a problem.
Think about a house. I mean, think about the electrical system in your house. It's the same. So
I say, when people say to me, okay, I take all these meds and I do all my smoothies and I take all these vitamins, and I say, that's great. And it's like building a house. you're going to decide that you're building a house and you need to buy your tiles and your walls and your, everything that you need, your floors, and you put it in your garage. And you're missing a piece here. And the piece that you're missing is the workers, the delivery system to put it where it needs to go. So redox signaling molecules, it's that exact delivery system.
Wow. That's amazing.
This is the best analogy, the simplest analogy that I can give. And that's why it's considered the missing link. Look at what Western medicine does. Look even what holistic medicine does. Sometimes it's the vitamins and it's the minerals and the supplements, and it's great and it has a place, but it needs to go to get to where it needs to go.
Right. And that's okay. Yes. Before I get into that part, what I want to share, but that's important. If there's anything else you want to share before I start talking about that, what's the word?
I think just the fact that, when healing takes place on the 3 levels of mind, body, and spirit, that is true healing.
Yes.
And we cannot isolate one from another. We cannot take care of one without taking care of the other. And we have to learn to pivot to treat the person, not the symptom, not the organ, the person.
Exactly.
Caroline, can I add to that real quick?
Sure.
In the pictures that you're showing, I have these huge divots, scars, just horrible outbreaks on my body. Western medicine wouldn't heal it. I had it for months. And they're time stamped, these pictures. Just by applying the redox topically on them, began immediate healing. And even the leftover purple, dark, ugly scars, it healed the scars. I mean, there's no purple, ugly. So that's just how quick it works.
Yeah, that's incredible. We might have to do this again and move on into different things, but we don't have a whole lot of time left because I still have to edit this. And that's like, So I just wanted to share though. Well, thank you both for coming here and starting this conversation, because I think people need to hear it. And I am really excited about this because my journey, which is why I'm doing this whole thing to begin with, as far as my health goes personally, like I said, I've got little tweaky things going on. I'm 58 and I'm starting, interestingly, I'm starting to gray. You can't tell right now but it's in there. Yeah, see? Okay. I hide it well. And I have the bags under my eyes, although I've been told it's genetic. I don't think it is. I think it has to do with the cells, but that's a whole another thing that I'm going to be looking into. And I've got little things like my absorption, my digestion, different things are going on right now. And I have the little aches and pains and whatever going on in my body. So I do yoga to kind of stave it off, but I drive as a business for Lyft. So I sit in the car all day long, or for a few hours, at least at a time. And so it doesn't help my body. I mean, you have to move. You can't just sit and not and expect to be healthy. You've got to move. So the point that I'm making here is this is my starting place with this. We are in the process of the next steps. I'm going to be talking to both Diane and Maya about what I'm going to be doing next, but I want you to know that here I am, and this is what I want to look into to see. And I want to be able to come back with updates and explain what's happening and what it looks like, what it feels like, whatever's going on, because it's so worth it to me for my health, for my health to be there, because I want my thing on this planet is to guide people and help people in my way through energy work and, guidance, transformational guidance, and inner child connection, different things like that. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't feel good. And my intention is that as I heal, my energy will raise, the consciousness will raise, and I can be that person for other people to feel good in front of, and that's just what I feel like I'm here for. And it all starts with self self-love. And part of the self-love is taking care of the body. And the other part of self-love and taking care of the body is being aware enough of how your body works so that someone else is not telling you how to take care of your own body, because you know what you feel like. Real quick, I had some things going on years ago. I went to go to the doctor. They took my blood pressure. It was 120/80. And it was a PA. And he's like, oh, well, you're borderline and we have to put you on medication. Da, 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 da. And I knew enough back then not to, right? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, well, we need to put you on whatever, whatever. And I had already had an experience with beta blockers and I didn't like it. And it was all from stress. By the way, we'll talk more about stress at some other point too. And so I looked at him and I said, no, I'm not going to take it. And he's like, well, I'm going to write it down in your records. I said, go right ahead. It was the last time I went to that doctor. But that's what I'm saying is it's your body. You know how you feel. If you're feeling something and they can't find it, then you know that there's something going on. They just don't have the tests and understanding of how this works right now. Hopefully it'll come soon. But I want to be that person to heal and just kind of be a guinea pig. I love being a guinea pig for things. So that's my story. I think Maya just raised her hand. So I know you're not waving yet because you got something big to say. So go ahead, Maya.
I just want to go back to the tests and everything else. And as much as I appreciate Western medicine and it has a place in anything acute or emergency medicine,
Yes, yes.
I have to say that they can diagnose things and give you a label to whatever disease and give a last name to whatever disease you want. They're missing the next step, what to do with it. So besides offering you more toxicity, they're pretty much helpless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And when we know that the basis of any illness or any discomfort or any health challenge is oxidative stress, and redox molecules is the only thing that can battle or reduce the oxidative stress, then you know what the solution is. So really, they can test all they want and come up with whatever name they want to call it, because they don't have the next step.
And it's just about the next step. It's not trying to, we're not bashing anybody here. Things like Maya said work for what they work for, but there's this piece that's been missing, the missing link. And that's what I feel like this is for. And I've been looking for this probably my whole life. And how long has it been out now?
15 years.
15? 15, yeah.
It's been longer. You can't have life without redox. The only reason that it's been there for 15 years is because it's a stable form that doesn't evaporate, because our bodies cannot sustain it, but you can have it outside the body.
Right.
That is the only form that you can.
But the knowledge of redox has been, the research has been going on for many, 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 many years. So it's out there. It's not just this newfangled thing. It happens inside of our body. So it's a natural state of health.
Right.
Homeostasis. That's what
homeostasis. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Diane. You're getting all excited about
I love you. I love you. I love your heart. I love your heart for sharing good news. I just love you so much.
Thank you, Diane. I love you too. And you, Maya. Thank you.
Thank you. I love sharing. I'm very passionate about it. I think this is something that people need to know.
Yes.
What you do with that information, that is already not my next step.
Right.
But you need to know. And you need to know and understand. And the decision is yours. You know, we're the sum of our decisions. Right. That's what we do with life.
Well, the biggest thing that's important, and I think I'm gonna, unless you guys have anything else you want to say, the biggest thing that's important here is question everything. I have been doing that my entire life. If something doesn't feel right, question it. Because more than likely your gut, your intuition is telling you that this is not for you, whatever that is. And having a basic knowledge of how things work with your body, with health and that sort of thing, not handing it over to somebody else is so important for you just to even feel good, let alone be healthy and whole. So
empowered.
Exactly. Perfect word. So it empowers
your education and knowledge.
It empowers you to be in charge of your health. because we need to have the right to say what we need, because there are some things out there that are harmful, and you know, that's all there
Not
is to
only
it.
what we need, what we don't need either.
Well, that's true. So all this lovely air that we're smogging into our bodies and different things like that. And yeah, I know.
I am very honored. I'm very humbled that I was able to bring that change in one person. And we have a cascading effect because she is bringing more change in other people. And every morning I wake up to another message saying that, wow, I didn't even know that this needed fixing. And look at me now.
Right.
So this has been a blessing all by itself. This is just the universe's way of giving back to us whatever we're sharing out, and we're spending our time and our energy and effort bringing it to people, and getting these messages is exactly what we need to recharge back and to continue doing what we are doing.
That's right. That's right.
Once you know it, you can't. Once you know about it,
There's
you
no
cannot
going back.
help but share it. Once you know about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm not even doing it yet. I just experienced, I spray it in my eyeballs. That's all. And I did it right before I got on here, and I was able to, it helps me to refresh. Diane said I had to do that, and I did. It was wonderful. It does. It does. So, all right. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so grateful for you guys being here, and sharing your stories and information. And hopefully, let's talk about possibly doing something like this again and just moving on to a different level as I do my process. Maybe I don't know what this is going to look like, but it could be fun, you know. So yeah. So thank you to the people watching. I'm very, very grateful that you're here, and any questions or whatever you want to reach out, just let me know. I will be posting information about Maya and Diane, just a couple of links or something, maybe to their Facebook pages or profiles or something. We'll see. And I think that's about it. Just thank you for being here, and
thank you.
Peace. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. More to come. Peace.